Hey, what's going on, team? Happy Tuesday. Hope that you guys are all having a productive morning. So we are seeing the market push up, and there's a couple of different things that I want to talk about today. I want to talk about the overall market. I want to talk about a couple of my day trades today, and I also want to talk about my investment on Apple and Tesla because of battery day. And battery day is today, if I'm not mistaken. It's at 1:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So make sure you guys set your alarms and kind of stay up to date. Let's go ahead and just kind of start with Tesla just because of how it's moving right now. As of right now on the day, it's down 4% based off of where it stands. And as you watch this video, just make sure you guys update us on where you see it going, if it's actually pushing up after the announcement for battery day, or if it's actually dropping. And I think it should be pretty interesting for us to be able to stay up to date in the comment section. But one of the crazy things that we experienced is yesterday a lot of people were caught by surprise. Elon Musk tweeted a little bit of information when it comes down what battery day is going to consist of, as well as a set list of expectations and kind of like a back order of production for like the semi truck and the overall roadster and the truck and stuff like that. So it is very unfortunate to see that Tesla dropped a little bit, but for those that were not already invested, this is the part that kind of like is mind-boggling to me. We have a lot of Tesla investors, and if anything, right, for Tesla investors, as Tesla sells off, especially if you really do think that it's going to go to Mars, right? Not to the moon, go to Mars, then wouldn't it be in your best interest to want there to be some form of negative catalyst that drops the price for a very short period of time? Because we know these catalysts don't last a very long period of time. It's unfortunate news, right? But this happens all the time. This happens with Facebook. This happens with Amazon. This happens with Walmart. Multi-billion-dollar corporations release news. Yeah, it could upset some investors. It causes a lot of selling pressure. But for long-term investors, again, the very simple idea of what Warren Buffett always loves to say of, be fearful when others are greedy and be greedy when others are fearful. And it just really surprised me that people become so devastated and so just distraught when Tesla begins to sell off for a very short period of time, because we all know that it's only a matter of time for it to recover. And I'm excited to follow up to see where Tesla goes after today, to see if they actually meet investors' expectations based off of what they had for battery day, or if we see this to be something, because a lot of people already assume that battery day and the news itself is already factored into the price. If, like earnings, doesn't meet expectation, then we can actually see this act as a negative catalyst, which of course for long-term investors, as I'm not invested in Tesla as of right now, but if I were to see that it were to drop sub 400, this would be a time, right? If Tesla drops down to 400, this would be something that I would potentially want to pick up for a decent deal to be able to sell it for a profit, big picture. Because just like we saw with Facebook, when Facebook announced that big advertisers were upset with how they were managing everything, and some big advertisers pulled out of Facebook ads, which is of course a huge revenue stream for Facebook. Yeah, Facebook pulled back for a little bit, and I actually think I can pull it up right here. But one of the things that you have to understand is, although these pullbacks are a little unfortunate, they don't last a very long period of time. Yeah, it might have sold off, but it was only about a week to 2 weeks later that it picked right back up, right? Especially when the market was so bullish. Right now, one of the things that you guys have to understand is volatility. I mean, the market's selling off, right? The market's pulling back a little bit. Why? Well, market was like on a 20 to 30 day green streak where it didn't really pull back at all. So you're really surprised that it pulls back a little bit? No, not at all, right? These are healthy corrections. And if you pay attention to /NQ, of course, it's sometimes upsetting to see that, hey, you worked really hard to make, some form of profit, and then you gave it all back because maybe your risk management isn't the best. But you live and you learn. And it's the small progress that you can, work on every single day that later on, big picture, after a long period of time, can end up leading to big results. And it's really good that if you're someone that's just getting started, right, regardless if it's investing, swing trading, I don't care what it is that you do, crypto, the very important part is, as you're learning how to do something, you need to make sure that you actually learn from your mistakes, or you're never going to make any form of progress, right? And that's one of the things that I want to cover today is, as of right now, the market is selling off, and although I'm setting myself up and beginning to kind of diversify where I'm putting a certain amount of money when it comes down to long-term investments, I'm also making sure that I'm paying attention to my intraday opportunities for my day trades. I'm a day trader, right? And regardless if you like day trading or not, one of the things that I wanted to cover is market began to really shift directions. Market was choppy today. It was selling off during the pre-market session. It then began to pick back up. It then began to consolidate and then kind of make lower lows and lower highs. It bottomed out and then began to make higher highs and higher lows. And now we just broke above 11,000 on the NASDAQ future, meaning that a lot of tech stocks are now up on the day. If you guys pay attention to Apple, if I'm not mistaken, is now back in the green after the market pulled back a little bit. So again, I wanted to update you guys on my open position. I have 100 shares. My average purchase price continues to change because I continue to day trade it. But this is where I'm at as of right now. So I'm not, again, paying too much attention to this because, again, I'm trying to set myself up for a long-term play. But until direction becomes a little bit more clear, I don't know if I'm going to want to buy aggressively right now. Once Apple begins to show signs of a healthy uptrend, I love to add more and more and more up to $100,000, $200,000 into Apple because then direction is more clear, right? And like we've said so many times before, it is much easier to make money. It's not easy, but it's much easier to make money when the overall direction is in your favor. And it's the same approach or the same concept when it comes down to day trading, right? And this is why, as of right now, as the market began to push up, it's not anything crazy. And if anything, the market is very overbought on TQs. I want to talk about two things. I have an open position on TQs. It's so overbought that my position is small that it doesn't really even matter. But one of the things that I want to point out is even though I'm in TQs, just because I trade something doesn't mean that you should. One of the things that I do want to point out is since we've been selling off, TQQQ, which is the bull NASDAQ ETF, has been showing signs of lower highs, meaning that almost every single time that it tries to recover, it doesn't recover all the way and ends up making lower lows and lower highs. So because of that, although we are pushing up as of right now, because of current market conditions, because we're approaching the election period, and because all this crazy news of this tech bubble that is going on, there's a lot of negative catalysts, right? There's a lot of misunderstanding, a lot of inconsistencies, and this shouldn't, worry you. If anything, it should just encourage you to be more selective. Watch that position size. Be selective. Watch that position size. You're not here to make it or break it. Ask yourself a very simple question. If you're actually trying to focus on learning how to trade, then focus on the learning part and not so much on the making money part. I don't care if you paper trade. I don't care if you do trading on demand. I don't care if you trade with $100. Your focus should be to learn from your mistakes, make some progress. So after you make numerous mistakes, you're at least just a little bit better than you were last month. And over time, things will begin to click and make a little bit more sense to you. And I think that's how it works in all these different markets, right? Both day trading and investing. And of course, some are easier than others, especially depending on your background. But altogether, please don't be so obsessive when it comes down to trying to make the most money every single day, especially when you're learning how to trade and approaching it with a very aggressive position size. Because as of right now, because the market is so inconsistent, and you guys can let me know in the comment section, from your own experience for the past 2 to 3 weeks as the market has been pulling back. Because of the inconsistencies, I can almost guarantee you that a majority of you that are trying to day trade, that are just getting started, if you're trading with an aggressive position size, the market's been super choppy, that you've either been more red than you have been green. And the reason why is because direction is so unclear, and more now than ever before, it is in your best interest to watch that position size and to lock in profit when it makes sense. Not when you want to, but when you get proper indication of a resistance, right? Of a potential reversal, or you hit your daily goal or your daily percentage max score, whatever the case might be. Never be afraid to lock in profits and walk away with some money in your pocket. So I'm excited to follow up with my day trades. I wanted to keep you guys up to date with my Apple position as well. And then the last thing is I'm very excited to follow up with Tesla and how it's trading. My last 2 cents. If you are very emotional right now, very uneasy because of battery day and what you hope happens, please don't devastate yourself, right? More now than, with all the craziness that's going on. If you feel that way, it probably means you are invested or trading with too much money based off of your current experience level. If you're someone that's investing long term and it pulls back a little bit, but again, your intention was to invest long term, then if anything, I would personally just buy more if your intention is actually to hold for a long period of time. So understand your intention, set up a proper game plan, and make sure that you watch that position size and embrace the challenge. Because like we've said so many times before, it's the difficult things in life that follow with the greatest form of fulfillment. The last thing I do want to remind you guys is, just like we said yesterday, we launched our varsity collection. There's already a series of different items that have completely sold out. A series number of our sweaters, a series numbers of our tank tops in specific colors and sizes have already sold out. You guys can click the third link down below. And if you guys want any of the day trader long sleeves hoodies or regular scallop tees and even the day trader flags, make sure you click the third link down below, click on the varsity collection, and you guys can scroll through before they all sell out. So I really do appreciate your guys' time. I will see you tomorrow at Market Open for our live trading session. I wish you guys the absolute best. I hope Tesla goes to the moon for each and every single one of you. And don't forget, if you guys want to click the second link down below, learn a little bit more about our Learn Plan Profit Group, and you guys can watch me trade live as soon as tomorrow, just by clicking the second link down below, and you could even get a taste of what it's like to watch me trade live every single day. I appreciate you guys' time. I hope that I earned your thumbs up. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. It actually looks like TQQ right now is pushing up, so it isn't looking too shabby. So I'm probably going to add a little bit more to my position. Like always, team, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy.